The Daytona 500 ignited fierce controversy when Joey Logano was blamed for a major wreck, with Kyle Busch accusing him of reckless driving. But instead of backing down, Logano fired back, calling the allegations stupid and standing firm in his defense. This sparked not just a heated exchange, but also highlighted the intense rivalries within NASCAR. The fallout from the incident escalated, showcasing Logano's unapologetic attitude and raising questions about racing ethics and decision-making under pressure. The 2025 Daytona 500 delivered a thrilling spectacle filled with high-stakes drama, but the moment that had everyone talking was the massive late-race wreck involving Joey Logano. With just 15 laps to go, the intensity ramped up as drivers fought for position, leading to a chaotic crash that took out several top contenders. Almost immediately, fingers were pointed at Logano, with critics accusing him of making an overly aggressive move that set off the wreck. However, the Team Penske driver isn't accepting the blame so easily. In the aftermath, Logano stood his ground, pushing back against the accusations and arguing that he had no other choice in that moment. While Kyle Busch and other competitors were quick to criticize, Logano believes the real issue lies elsewhere. So, was Logano truly reckless, or is he being unfairly scapegoated? Let's break down what happened and get to the bottom of the controversy. With only 15 laps to go in the Daytona 500, the intensity on the track reached its peak. Drivers knew that every move counted, and the battle for position became more aggressive. At the front of the pack, two lanes had formed, each filled with drivers trying to position themselves for a shot at victory. Then came a bold charge from Noah Gragson, who led a third lane up the middle with a strong push from the cars behind him. Sensing an opportunity, Joey Logano made his move. The number 22 driver shifted from the top lane to the middle, looking to gain track position. At the same time, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., running ahead of Logano, reacted by moving to the middle to block the Penske driver. But Logano wasn't backing down. He attempted to squeeze past the number 47, leading to a moment of chaos. As Logano got into the middle lane, a push from behind caused him to get loose. The number 22 lost control, clipped Stenhouse, and triggered a massive wreck that took out several top contenders, including Kyle Busch and Ryan Blaney. The crash reshaped the entire race, sparking immediate backlash from drivers and fans alike. Once the dust settled, Logano became the primary target of blame. Many believed he forced a move that simply wasn't there, showing desperation instead of patience. The criticism came swiftly, with Kyle Busch and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. voicing their frustration. Busch, in particular, didn't hold back, calling out Logano for poor judgment. But while the NASCAR world quickly turned on him, Logano had his own perspective, and he wasn't staying quiet. Right after the wreck, the frustration among drivers was palpable, and most of it was directed at Joey Logano. Kyle Busch was one of the first to speak out, delivering a fiery critique of Logano's decision-making. "You've got to know how wide your race car is to be able to find a hole that it'll fit in, and he obviously doesn't know that," Busch told reporters. He argued that Logano attempted to squeeze into a gap that simply didn't exist, setting off a wreck that could have easily been avoided. Busch wasn't alone in his criticism. Stenhouse, who was directly involved in the crash, expressed his own disappointment in Logano's aggressive move. "I was bummed that he was trying to make a move on us because I felt like me, him, and LaJoy were getting ready to drive to first, second, and third, and then we could race it out," Stenhouse said. According to him, had Logano been patient, the two could have worked together to move to the front instead of triggering a pileup. Beyond the drivers, analysts and fans also chimed in. Many pointed out that Logano's decision to force his way into the middle lane was unnecessary, especially with 15 laps still remaining. While aggressive racing is expected at Daytona, some believed Logano's impatience cost both himself and others a shot at victory. Adding to the criticism, Busch went a step further by claiming that Logano had the fastest car on the track and could have won if he had played the long game. "Looks like the fastest car got in a hurry to get to the wreck," Busch said sarcastically. He emphasized that the Penske cars were in control of the race, and Logano didn't need to take such a high-risk move so early. With almost everyone blaming him, Logano found himself in a familiar position, defending his actions after an aggressive late-race move. But unlike his critics, Logano saw things differently. He remained defiant in the face of criticism, refusing to back down from his aggressive approach. He doubled down on his belief that his move was justified, dismissing accusations that he had been reckless. "I don't race to finish second," Logano said bluntly. "This is Daytona. If you don't take the runs when they come, someone else will, and you'll be the one getting left behind. I saw a lane, I went for it, and it didn't work out this time." That's just how this type of racing goes. When asked if he regretted the move after seeing how it unfolded, Logano shook his head. "Not at all," he said firmly. "I'd do it again in the same situation. I've won races making moves just like that. You have to be aggressive. If you're waiting for the perfect opportunity, you'll never get there." Logano also took aim at those criticizing him, arguing that his reputation as an aggressive driver made him an easy target. "People always want to point fingers at me when something happens. But if another driver makes that move and it works, everyone is calling them a genius." Rather than apologizing, Logano made it clear he had no intention of changing his approach. "I'm here to win races, not make friends," he said. "That's the way I've always raced, and that's the way I'm going to keep racing." Logano's unapologetic stance sparked intense debate. Critics, led by Kyle Busch and Jeff Gordon, saw his comments as proof that he hadn't learned from past mistakes. Fans and drivers alike called him reckless, with some arguing that his aggressive style had once again cost multiple drivers a shot at victory. "He just doesn't care," Busch said. "That's why people race him the way they do." However, Logano also found support from some corners of the garage. Teammate Ryan Blaney defended him, saying, "Joey's won championships by being aggressive. That's just who he is." Others, like Denny Hamlin, acknowledged that while the move was risky, it was also the kind of bold decision that wins races. Even among fans, opinions were split. Some praised Logano for his no-nonsense, win-at-all-costs mentality, while others believed he was pushing too hard with no regard for consequences. One thing was certain, Logano wasn't about to change his approach anytime soon. Joey Logano's aggressive move and subsequent wreck at Daytona reignited the long-standing debate over his racing style. While some saw it as a reckless decision that cost multiple drivers a chance at victory, Logano remained unapologetic, standing firm in his belief that calculated aggression is necessary to win at the highest level. The backlash from competitors like Kyle Busch and Jeff Gordon further cemented Logano's reputation as one of NASCAR's most polarizing figures. Critics argued that his refusal to take responsibility only reinforced the perception that he races with little regard for others. However, his defenders, including Ryan Blaney and Denny Hamlin, acknowledged that his bold approach is exactly what has made him a three-time NASCAR Cup Series champion. Ultimately, Logano's stance makes one thing clear: he isn't concerned with pleasing his critics. He races with the singular goal of winning, and whether fans love him or hate him, his results speak for themselves. In an era where calculated moves often outweigh pure aggression, Logano remains one of the few drivers willing to push the limits, regardless of the consequences. As NASCAR continues to evolve, the debate over Logano's methods will persist. But if history has shown anything, it's that he won't change his approach. For Logano, it's not about making friends, it's about taking the checkered flag, no matter the cost.